What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brendan, aka Drip, back with another video. In today's video, we have an emergency Galaxy Eyes 2.0 list update for this format. The format has shifted in like more of a tier 0 format than I previously expected with my last list. So I felt like I needed to update it and tweak it to help you guys out, combat this meta with the best deck. A couple things for getting this video. I'm sorry if the sound quality is kind of weird or different than what you all are used to. I got a new phone. If you couldn't tell, that's probably why the picture is a lot better. So I don't have microphones yet. So Locals Live series on Thursdays plus this, the sound may be a little funky. I apologize. I'm going to get that. I want to get new microphones that are compatible with my new phone. So just bear with me, and I'll get that soon. Also, before we get in this video, if you don't mind, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe, bell notification so you never miss an upload. Check the description for all the ways to support me. Patreon, Discord, affiliate link for TCG Player, along with Patreon. Everything else is down there as well. But other than that, this is going to be a format discussion plus deck profile. So there's going to be a lot of discussion in here. So if you're just here for the list, check the comment section and see if I put the timestamps. I usually do, but sometimes I forget. I'm sorry. Other than that, if you want to listen to my complete thoughts on this, then just stick around, and I appreciate and love you all so much for it. Other than that, this list is a Horus list. If I didn't make the thumbnail already include that, I still like to let people know, because I know some people like and don't like the Horus, and they have mixed feelings about it because, well, probably basically the price. I get it, they're very expensive, but if you want to play the deck at its fullest potential, that's the way to do it. But to start out, for the most part, this starting out is going to be very cookie cutter and standard. 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, hand, grave, deck. That's the ratios we run it. It's the way we always run it. But other than that, it's basically standard. This card is not, it's not a garnet like most decks are, like that have like blue eyes and stuff like that, unfortunately. Shout outs to the rest of my peeps like myself who like blue eyes. Moving on, we got 3 the starter. I know a lot of people cut this down, but you need to maximize your starters. Most decks have like 5 to 6 normal summons in the form of starters. Yes, we can technically have more than that, but in the form of starters, we run 6. But we got 3 wizard because it is a starter if you don't open the Galaxy 100. This is basically to get us to Galaxy 100, which helps us play around Droll. If we need to, because this gets access Galaxy 100, and then Galaxy 100, Foolish, whatever we need, and Resurrect from the graveyard from there. 3 more starter. This is another starter. You just, like I said previously, you need to maximize starters. And we need to maximize anything that can put itself on board, because like, if you couldn't already tell from my intro, I'm building this deck to help combat the meta in the form of fire. I feel like if you know me and you've been a member of the channel and been a member of the D.D.D fam and the Galaxy gang, GG gang for a while, then you know that I build, no matter if it's this deck or any deck I build to go against the best deck. Because my personal opinion, if you build your decks to go against the best deck, then the rest of the decks will become collateral damage. They will get dealt with in the process of us dealing with the best deck. You just never want to be caught off guard. And that's my personal opinion. And then moving on for more Galaxy Engine, we have 2 Brave. Brave is still a 2 of. He's arguably could be a 3 of, but in this current format, you know my ratios on cards, whether they're the ratios or cards that I run in our deck, that it bases upon format to format. And the reason why he's so important right now is because he puts a body on board, and he's just very good at being able to manipulate his level, because in a lot of situations we need an 8 or we need a 4. That's basically it. And sometimes it's kind of leaning towards more 4s, because if you remember what I mentioned previously in my other videos, and if you're part of the Discord fam, then you know that I said the deck has moved like a lot like towards a level/rank 4 centric deck. Before it was just basically spamming 8s, but now it feels like you can get 4s on board faster than you can 8s, which is kind of where this guy comes in, because he can make more 4s for you to be able to get to your 8s, or can make 8s for you as well. More for the individual 1-ofs. For the Galaxy part, we got Galaxy Summoner, Now that we have Delta Wing, you don't need more copies of this. We didn't need more copies of it to begin with, in my personal opinion. I never ran more than one. I never felt myself needing more than one. This is a follow-up card or a secondary normal summon compared to Galaxy Wizard. And now that we got Delta Wing, this follows right behind Delta Wing in the form of normal summons. And then outgrind our opponent, Cleric herself. This card is just stupid. This card is amazing. I've ran it for years now. If you've seen my list, then you know I've never cut her from my list, even though I thought about it, but then I felt guilty. And then the last one up is Afterglow. You don't need more than one. You just need one to get the job done. That's to kill your opponent. And then the rest is history. Or to special summon if you need to. But yeah, that's it for the Galaxy portion of the list. Time to get to the Photons. Actually, I take that back. I'm sorry. The Spice card that is in this list that we are running now is Galactic Kuriboh. I'll put this with the Galaxy portion. I'm running Galactic Kuriboh to be able to protect ourselves if we can from Princess. Because since we're running the Horus engine, spoiler alert, if you don't already know, we're running 3 Photon Jumper. So if you open Jumper and like Imseti, Mom Spaghetti, then you can just pitch this off a Galaxy 100 and then have this in graveyard just chilling and waiting for you. I don't think you need it. I like, at the point of in testing and thinking about it and stuff and theory crafting and stuff, I wouldn't run more than one of this because it's not a starter at the end of the day. Yes, it's very nice to get access to it, but at the end of the day, it's not a starter. It's not an extender. All it is a utility card. You don't. And all of our utility cards, if you see my deck list, for the most part, are all 1-ofs because we can recycle them with Cleric, or we can get easy access to them with Wizard or something like that. So definitely considering this is always considered a Galaxy card, so we could search it with Galaxy Soldier. We could search it with Wizard. We can just search it. It doesn't matter. So and like, I mean, its battle phase effect is okay. Being able to summon a Galaxy Photon Dragon and force them to attack that, and then you can banish to protect, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, that's really niche and really nice, but this is mainly in here for fire. If you're not playing against fire, this would probably be one of the cards to side out. But it's mainly in there for fire for that very reason. But the card is very, very cracked in this format. Like I told you all a long time ago when this card came out, I said I like it, but it's format based. And depending on the format is what we'll run, and if and when we'll run it. And guess what? The format is called for Galactic Kuriboh, little cute self. So we decided to run them. For the most part, like all the Kuriboh cards are really cute. Call me biased, but like the little Dark Magician one's kind of cute. But call me biased, but I like the Galaxy one the most. Let me know in the comment section which one you like the most. For the Photon engine, we got 3 starter. And I put a lot of you all on this because we're all Yu-Gi-Oh players, and I actually did something that us Yu-Gi-Oh players don't do. You want to know what that is? That's reading. A lot of you all on my last list, I put you all on the fact that this card's not even a once per turn. It's freaking stupid. This card's not even a once per turn, so it's like arguably the best normal summon in the deck right now, next to whatchamacallit, Wizard. In some scenarios, depending on the hand, this is better. It's like 60-40. This is 60, and then the Wizard's 40 when it comes to the best normal summons. Then moving on to the more Photon engine, like I mentioned before, I spoiled it. Since we were running the Horus engine, we run in 3. It's just silly not to run 3 of this when you're running the Horus package. If you run pure, then you just run 2. I mentioned that before if you see my pure lists. 3 of this, though, with the Imseti engine is just bonkers if you don't run it, because you go like, it feels like you go plus infinity, because Imseti pitched this to add King Sark, draw a card, then this will activate, and then you can add, which remind you, all this is under like Droll. They can't Droll you until the resolution of the chain. So like, it's just, I don't know, it's just nasty. Granted, they can Droll you before you activate this, but oh well. Moving on. I dropped Orbital to 2. It's a utility card, but it's a better utility card that's unnecessary to go to 1. It's not necessary to go to 1 because it's still a utility card at very least. But it's not an extender anymore, as much as it was. If we still had access to like Union Carrier or whatever it's called, the train, I'd probably honestly drop this to 1 if we still had access to that, but we don't. And then I did bump Vanisher to 2. The reason why is because of the fire deck likes to wait for you to summon, and then they'll go Princess to summon. If they play the Amblewell, then they'll summon, pop your card, pop Amblewell, then Amblewell will pop another card. So it's very like essential for us to be able to keep putting bodies on board and pushing through their board. And this being a level 4 extender, that's more generic than Advancer, because Advancer requires a Photon, as where this requires a Galaxy or Photon, so it's more versatile in that regard. Not only that, when you normal summon Delta Wing and it gets impermed or something, you don't have a level 4 extender, then this comes up. That's why technically we were running 4 level 4 extenders in the form of 2 of these and 2 Galaxy Braves in the Galaxy portion, because we're running like 13 or 14 Photons, give or take. So our Photon count is very high. Then the one of is 1 Emperor. You only need 1 in rotation. If they call by or crow it, then so be it. For the Horus engine, very standard. 3 Msetti, Mom Spaghetti, Vomit on a Sweater already. Shout out to Eminem. 1 Happy, broken. And then only run 1 King's Arc. This is not the focal point of the deck. This is just a generic engine that we can play. If they're going to... The reason why I don't play a second one is because, like, I don't want to draw it, and I just, like, if I draw this and Msetti, I'm not mad, because then I just activate this, send this, and then I'm fine. Like, it's fine. I don't want to run a second one because I don't want to have a second one in rotation, because, like I said, but in previous videos, this is not the focal point of the deck. This is just extenders / helps us to get an 8 on board before Nib, since the deck is so level 4 eccentric now. So, like, in Pure, I had conversations about this with people in the Discord fam and the Galaxy Gang fam, GG fam, that if you're playing Pure, it feels like sometimes it's awkward if you trying to play around Nib, because you don't have a real way of doing so without compensating in forms of some of your interactions / your inboard. So that's where these cards come up. That's the main reason they're here. And spoiler alert, we're not running Upstart Goblin in this list because this is the Horus list. Why run Upstart Goblin when I have Upstart Goblin in the form of a monster? This literally pitches and then draws after resolution of adding this. So that's why we're not running Upstart in this, because we have Upstart on steroids with a monster, because it can send our Galaxy or Photons to the graveyard to either proc their effects or let them sit there until we revive them. And you don't need another level 8. This deck is very okay when it comes to the Galaxy Eyes in the whole, is what I'm talking about, is okay at thinning out the hand to get resources in the graveyard, but this deck is not 100% graveyard reliant. Like, we like it, but we don't like have to put our stuff in the graveyard. So the 4th level 4 never really has come up. So like Darumataf never comes up, my personal opinion, and never has. Then 3 Galaxy 100. We run 3 to make sure we draw it. Yes, I know it's searchable. Yes, I know once you got 1 in rotation, you don't really need it again. But it's the fact that this is follow-up. This is literally follow-up. So if you have 1 in hand, you have 1 in, like 1 on field, 1 in hand, then you can activate this and send another jumper, search, follow-up, like whether it be trance or anything else. And running 3 is just necessary because you have to see it in hand. You have to draw it. This is a starter, and if you see this card, and like Delta Wing, you don't give a flying fuck about draw. You just play right through it. You don't care. Screw draw. No one cares about that. That card's ass. But that's why we run it. Moving on. No hand traps. If you couldn't already tell, this is all gas, no brakes. That's the reason why we had to update the list. Because if in this format, if you can't play 12 to 15 hand traps, you're not playing. So if you can fit 9 like this deck normally can, 6 to 9, then there's no point of running hand traps because it's not going to be enough. You need to consistently be able to draw 2 or 3 or you're not playing this format. So I decided to just go talents because you don't need trade-in, because your deck is just hand trap magnet anyways. So you just play this, and this can help you extend, just help you steal. If they have a bad hand trap that doesn't do shit to your deck, then you just activate this, rip 1 from their hand, then they go -2 by using their hand trap. Feels good. PogChamp. But yeah, Talents is nasty. And then for the random 1-ups, 1 Expedition, 1 Trance, 1 Last Hope. Now, one thing you'll notice is when I built this deck, outside of the initial, let me try to slide this down a little bit. Outside of the initial 3, when I built this, wanted 3 targets for 3 copies. So what I mean by that is outside of the Galaxy 100, let's say I hard draw the Galaxy 100, I still have 3 copies of Jumper, and I still have 3 copies of cards that can be searched off Jumper. So I still have 3 targets, if that makes sense. I know that might be a little overkill or like overthinking it, but that's the way I like to deck build, because I feel like if you put that much into it, then you'll have good success when it comes to overall like results. But yeah, if you open this, then you have 3 targets for your Jumper. And the reason why we run this is if we open Imseti and use Imseti line, then this is literally this, but not as good. So this can still do this without the lock, if that makes sense. And then the last card in the deck is the God card, Call By. Call By is just hilarious. Call By Droll. Call By Princess when they try to summon back. When you just hold this in hand, and then when they try to use Princess, you just go yeet and just yeet their Princess, and they just cry. Onto the extra deck. Extra deck, I made a couple of changes, like 1 change I believe, or 2 changes, I can't remember. 2 Soul Flare, standard. Sorry it's in a different sleeve. It's $100 and some odd card. I don't like changing it on my sleeves all the time. Little Knight. Tip for the Link Monsters. Photon Lord. Shout outs to my boy Andrew for letting me borrow this. You're the GOAT if you're watching this. Love you, bro. Then I got number 38 because stopping OSS, aka Original Sinful Spoils, is very crucial. Screw the wanted, let the wanted resolve. No one gives a shit about the wanted. Stop the OSS. Original Sinful Spoils. That's what this is in here for. No other reason. Mr. Steal Your Girl, because it's my girl now, because she likes big buff dragons. She don't like those little trashy ass fire decks. Mr. Steal Your Girl, take your shit, and then lay on top your girl. Sorry if you're a child watching this. Yeah, Mr. Lay on top your girl, aka protect my shit from targeting until the end of your turn. Feels good. Nice Princess, Amberwell, all that you have. Then Cypher Blade, pop. You only need 1 pop right now. I like full armor, but this one's more versatile. If you know me and you know, like I mentioned in every video, full armor is my favorite extra deck monster in Galaxy Eyes. So if I cut it, then it's obviously a reason, but it's format based. He'll be back. My boy will be back. Then Mr. OTK, screw your life points. And then Big Buff Daddy OTK, unaffected. Standard. Nothing needs to be said. Consistency. Sometimes, man, on a real note, I know this is crazy. If like Konami upped our extra deck limit, I would probably run a 2nd copy of this, even though we can recycle it back. It comes up like very odd game states that a 2nd one comes up. But yeah, you only need 1. If I had moral of the story, if I had a room for a 16th card, then it would be a 2nd copy of that. Mr. Protector / summon back Photon Dragon to rip your extra deck. Feels good. Then I put y'all on this last list. 106 Giant Hand. This is the level 4 target for Numbers Last Hope. I talked about it in my last video how I think this should be the new norm for us. If you are going to run Numbers Last Hope, then you need to run this card, my personal opinion. So moving forward, I think Galaxy S players should be running this, my personal opinion. And then 1 Abyss Dweller, because making this against fire is just FTK. So if you can pair this with like a Soul Flare, number 90 or whatever, it's just GG's. They just can't play. Feels good. And then 1 Zeus, because Zeus is just broken this format, because it doesn't destroy, it doesn't target, it just sends. Nice deck. Other than that, that's basically it for the main and extra deck. No side deck, but if you want to know a generic side deck, off the top of my head, which I've done a little bit of like practice with it, would be 3 Bell, 3 Bell, 3 Thanos, aka Thanos is Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. If you've not been around for a while, have not been around my channel for a while, I'll call him Thanos because he looks like Thanos from the Avengers, but a little bit of dragon form in my personal opinion. Then 3 Tachyon Transmigration, and then you can either run Hyper Galaxy or Duster in the side. One of those in the flex spot, and then the last 5 will be 2 Crow and 3 Cosmic. That is the most overall generic, but the only flex spot in the side deck, in my personal opinion, just the way I play the deck, in my personal opinion, is Duster. The reason why is because the rest of them are so mandatory this format, it's insane. In some scenarios, you could potentially cut down Thanos for a 3rd Crow, because Crow is good against Voiceless Voice, and it's good against Fire in the form of a 6th draw. Because you draw Crow as your 6th draw, you just immediately during draw phase just Crow the shit out of their princess, and then they have no interaction on your turn unless they have hand traps or they made Appaloosa. Other than that, they don't have nothing, because they don't have nothing to pop their Amblowell, and they have nothing to trigger their Garunix in Grave. So you just win. And then Voiceless Voice, you hit the you can either hit the ritual spell, or you hit the chick in Grave that can banish herself to ritual summon. But it's up to you. I have chose to stay with 3 Thanos because the targeting protection, and every deck in this format is making a Little Knight or some other sort of link. Even Voiceless Voice is making old boy, what's his name? I don't know. He brings back the rituals during he brings back a ritual, which will also trigger the low to summon back to reset to set the trap. So it's like named like Armadillo or some random stuff or something like that. But if you know, you know. But either way, every deck's linking right now. So having the extra targeting protection is really nice. And to reset your hand is really nice too. So, but you can either run Duster or the Hyper Galaxy. Whatever you want. But other than that, that's basically it for the list. I think like Droll is actually going to eventually fall out of the format in my personal opinion. So just be aware of that. Droll is like everywhere if you couldn't already tell, because people think it's good into Fire when in my personal opinion it's not. The only time it's good against Fire is if they open Bonfire only and they start out with Bonfire and then they go Bonfire search Ponix and they go not Ponix but or Ponix but not Ponix but no not Ponix. The what's his name? Shit. Poplar. Yeah, there you go. Not Ponix. That's the Fire King Wing Beast, whatever. But yeah, they go popular and then they go chain popular effect and you chain Droll. Other than that, they play right through it. So when we fully settle into the tier 0-ish format, I really think people will understand that. And when they do, then Droll will fall out of the format. And when that does, I really think we're going to be able to shine, my personal opinion, in the form of just catching people off guard with out of this world cards, knee slap. But I hope you all enjoy the video, and I'm sorry if the sound quality is kind of bad. Like I said, I want to look into it and get a new mic. Eventually, I just got to do my research, figure out which one I like for my phone. But other than that, if you stuck around this far and you've watched every second of this video, then shout outs to you. Pat yourself on the back. I know I talk a lot. I just want to feed you all so much information to set you all up for success, because that's all I want is you all to have fun and enjoy talking to me or enjoy my videos. That's what means the world to me. But again, if you haven't already, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, bell notification so you never miss an upload. Check the description for all the ways to support your boy. And if you're not a member of the Discord gang, just become a member of the Discord gang. Literally like 98% of us is literally just Galaxy fans. It's hilarious. I don't really have much of a variety. It's pretty much a cult at this point. But if you're not a member of the GG fam, Galaxy gang fam, then come on down to the Discord. I'm not even trying to... I sound like a car salesman now. Whatever. I've rambled for way too long. I love you all so much for checking this video out and staying this long. It's your boy Brendan, a.k.a. Drip, from Team D.D.D, signing out till next time. Peace. Good dueling, my guys.